Okay.
Okay, we're live. Hello, welcome. I want you all to welcome our special guest, Craig Wolfe, to our show. This is Speak Up World. Craig is the president at Celebriducks, a company that has made millions of dollars off of rubber ducks that look like celebrities, cartoon characters, and more. For those watching live, feel free to ask questions. We'll get to as many questions as we can during this broadcast. If you want to ask a question, and I'm going to put this right into the chat area, all you have to do is click /Q, and that'll bring it up nice and neat for us in the mentions tab. So there you go. Hi, Craig.
Hi, how are you? It's nice to see you, Janice.
I'm fantastic. Can you tell the audience a little bit about Celebriducks and what it is you do?
Yes, absolutely. So Celebriducks is a rubber duck company. What we do is we make rubber ducks of celebrities and other character-themed ducks. We're probably the top custom duck manufacturer in the world because we also do them for a lot of companies like SeaWorld and Amazon, Zappos, and New York Yankees. So we do it, for all these Fortune 500 companies all over the world. And then we have a whole line of ducks that we make both overseas, and we're also the only ones who are now making them in America, where the rubber duck was invented. We have 2 other factories in the USA.
Wow, good old USA. Sorry, Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have guests from Canada, so I was like, good old USA. Okay, well, let me ask you, how did you even get started with this company?
Well, it's funny. Before I did this, I was doing artwork from television commercials. I went to Coca-Cola, and I had the idea that why don't you market your artwork the way Disney does with Mickey Mouse and Warner Brothers with the Looney Tune characters. I said, you have the Coke Bears, very iconic, and it took me a year for us to kind of figure out what to, for them to kind of come on board. But when they did, we actually created a line of characters with the Coke Bears that became one of their top-selling art pieces. Once we had proof of concept, I went right to Anheuser-Busch, the Bud Frogs, the Pillsbury Doughboy. You can see where it could go. The M&Ms, we just went through all of them. We became the largest publisher of artwork from television commercials in the country, all based on this idea. The ducks was because a friend at a party, a little bit, had a little bit maybe to drink too much, and suggested this idea of rubber ducks that look like celebrities. What do you think of that? And I think I might have mentioned to you, I think 99% of the people would have just said nothing and just politely ignored it. I thought it was a cute idea. What if you could do it? How could it be a rubber duck and look like a celebrity? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it piqued my interest.
What happened to that friend? I'm just curious.
Not around anymore, but the rubber ducks are. And I took that idea and I called King Features, who owned the rights to Betty Boop, and I said, I have this idea of a rubber duck that looks like Betty Boop. I could tell they couldn't get me off the phone quick enough, thinking it's, the guy's crazy, But they said, you make your rubber duck, you call us back, we'll talk, he's gone. I made a rubber duck. I figured out how to make one, sent it to him, came in the morning, months later, there's a message from the head of licensing, got your little rubber duck, it's really cute, let's talk. Celebriducks was born that day.
Wow. Now, you're what we call an encore entrepreneur, and I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews with encore entrepreneurs because it's a new phenomenon in demographics that people over 50 are starting businesses. Can I ask you how old you were when you started Celebriducks?
Celebriducks, I was around around 50.
You were around 50, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I'm posting your website right now so that people who are watching live can actually just click on it and see some of your ducks. And it's Celebriducks, CELEBRIDUCKS.com. So you're going to see some really cute ducks. My husband actually went to your site and he saw that you had a New York Yankees, oh my God, the Big Bambino. You had that one there.
He was like,
you got to get me that.
We even did a giveaway at Yankee Stadium with 20,000 of those Babe Ruth ducks back in the George Steinbrenner days.
That's amazing. Now, do you still have those? Because I might have to get that as a Christmas present.
I don't know if I even have so much as one, but I will look.
Okay.
Look.
I may have to do
when
that.
they sell out, we keep a few around, in the archives. So you never know what we'll be able to find there. Yeah, the
Okay.
Yankees. Well, I'm from the East Coast, so yeah, of course.
Yeah. And he's a huge Yankees fan. He used to have a Yankees room. So when he saw that, he's like, all right, so I'll try.
Well,
I'll try. We'll see what happens.
The Yankees really helped put us on the map because we did a
Yeah.
huge giveaway with Jason Giambi when he moved to the Yankees and he was their star player. They did a Jason Giambi rubber duck, and
That's
it was a
amazing.
big hit. They almost sold out Yankee Stadium on a Wednesday night, for a game that was meaningless for the playoffs. They were already in it, but everybody wanted one of those Jason Giambi celebrity ducks. It's a big hit,
Wow.
really
Now
cute.
you have some samples there with you of the newest duck, but
Yes, our
do you
costume
I want to
Quackers.
see that, but do you also have one of the celebrity ducks that you can just show the audience so they'll know what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Have you have one?
absolutely. I
Okay.
mean, like one of the ball players.
Oh, anything that you have that you can show them what you're doing so they can get an idea of your company. Because I just
Okay,
think it's
just
amazing.
walking away.
Okay, no problem. I just think it's amazing that he heard an idea at a party. And we all have friends say, you know what, that'd make a good idea. We should
I'm
do this.
sorry, I had
That's
to go
okay.
and get this one because this is the duck that put us on the map.
Oh,
Can
wow.
you see it? It's
Yes,
Allen Iverson.
yes, yes. So there you go. Now you get an idea about these rubber ducks.
You see, the Allen Iverson duck, when the Philadelphia 76ers, what happened was a reporter from the Atlantic City Press got one of my press releases. They called me and they said, "Why should we do a story about you?" I said, "Well, I'm from Jersey. Used to go to Atlantic City." They go, "Okay, that's good enough." And they did a story. That weekend, the vice president of the Philadelphia 76ers, who has Allen Iverson as their superstar, called, said, "We love the concept. Can you do this duck just like Allen and match all the little tattoos all over his arm so it'll look exactly like his arms?" I said,
Hold it
"Absolutely."
up again. Hold it up again. I'm going to take a screenshot with it. Go ahead.
Okay, let me
Let's keep
take
talking.
let me take it out of
Yeah.
the box so you can
Okay.
actually appreciate the tattoos. Do you see
That's
those
too
tattoos?
funny. Yes, I see
You
them.
see how detailed they are?
Wow. That's amazing.
So
That's pretty good.
I didn't know if we could do it, but I told him we could. Let me make a long story short. We got done with this duck. The duck looked more like him than he did. It
Wow.
became a huge hit. It sold out the stadium. In fact, they just came back to us this past year when they retired his jersey to do 10,000 as a giveaway because it was one of
Holy
their
moly.
promotions. So we did 10,000 more. And that duck, all the Yankees called, the Cubs called. And Janice, at that point, I had a choice to make. All of a sudden, we were on national TV, ESPN. I want to be a duck company or an animation company.
Right.
I sold off the animation. I know it sounds crazy. I became all ducks that day. And I never looked back.
Well, that's great. You're
Yeah.
quacking up all the way to the bank, though. That's the good thing.
Well, yeah. Well, then once we did the concept, we realized we could do celebrities, like the Allen Iverson. But then we also realized we have the possibility, like our new line, we call the costume Quackers, where they're ducks, yellow dress ducks.
Is that Elvis?
Like, well, we call him Blue Suede Duck. And he's actually, you can't see it, he's wearing shoes. That's right. We did a duck wearing blue suede.
Wait, hold up the feet. Oh, I see. Oh, wow.
Can
Wow.
you see the shoes he's wearing?
That's amazing.
So the
Yeah.
blue suede duck. And then we did, you know our Spa Wars. May the best be with you.
Spa Wars. Okay.
Spa Wars. And then we have this one, Duckin'.
Okay. That's so funny.
I mean, it was endless what we could do, on the pond again. And how about that man who everybody loved, the Duckinator?
Ah.
Or as it says on the bottle, a bubble bath, bad to the foam.
Wow.
I'll be Quack on his shirt. So you see, this whole costume Quacker line is brand new. It's a line of ducks, yellow ducks, dressed up like, gives you a sense of somebody you might know or famous and whatnot. So, and then I love the TV show Breaking Bath. His little hazard suit, but what is he making? Little blue ducks. He's making little blue ducks. You can see them with the bubbles. I mean, it's endless.
Yeah, it is. Who comes up with these ideas?
It's really funny. My lady friend and I, we just go crazy with them. It's like I'll be watching TV and suddenly she calls and she goes, give geese a chance. And all of a sudden we go, oh God, that's too much. We have a new duck. We have to do it. So then give geese a chance. And then I thought I was all done. Because I released 12 at once. They just came out, and they're now our top selling ducks. And I get a phone call, and she goes, squawk. I go, oh yeah, right.
Star Trek. That's funny.
Squawk. And now we have, I mean, we're doing parodies, and it's just our own characters or just yellow ducks. But they remind you, they give you a feeling of things you've known, and
right.
Honestly, it's really great because people have really responded to these. So we hit different niches. We do the Blues Brothers for all the House of Blues around the country. Wow. We do flamingos for the Flamingo Hotel in Vegas. We can do anything. We have a whole food theme line where we do ducks holding ice cream or chocolate or coffee or wine. It's endless. Once you get into it, the sky's the limit.
I thought you were going to say, once you go duck, you never go back.
You do. That's right. You never go back.
I was going to say, wait a minute. Where are we going here? It's so funny. It's so
I love
funny.
it. And then, of course, the newest thing is our good ducks.
Yes. Talk about your good ducks.
Well, we realized, a lot of mothers and parents, they want rubber ducks that are PVC free. The reason is their babies are chewing on it all the time. So there's a market out there looking for things that are PVC free. Not like PVC is dangerous. You can make it safe or unsafe. It's what you add to it. Ours is very safe, but it doesn't matter. If their kids chewing on it all the time, they still want PVC free. They don't exist in the marketplace. A safe PVC free duck also made in America.
What's the problem with bad ducks? Like, tell me a little bit about what they're putting in
because
it. Because
a lot of
what happens.
A few years ago, they realized a lot of things that were coming, almost all rubber ducks were coming in from overseas before us. And although we do have a facility overseas, we make ducks overseas, all our artwork and sculpting is done in America. And we have a factory overseas that can make it to the European and USA requirements. So BPA, lead, phthalates are all within legal limits. And that's why people use us, because they know they're like some of the safest ducks on the market. Well, then why is a good duck different? Well, it's still safe, but it takes it to another level. This is food grade, medical grade, food and medical grade material we use to make this. Right. So a baby can chew on this all day long, and there's like nothing is going to happen. I mean, it's like they're the safest ducks in the world. Right. But what they like about it is they're made in America, and they know that the materials we're using are the safest in the world. So we're going to be launching this maybe toward the late December. We've been working on this for a long time. It was such difficult material to figure out how to make it work and go into the molds, because it's not like any other material that we've ever worked with in our life. No one's ever used it, tried to do the molding process we've done. But we did it. We have little good duck. They have little, you can't see on the wing probably, but it says the good duck is embossed right on the wing.
Wow.
And then we have these gorgeous little gift boxes that are coming in all multiple colors. Oh, we're doing them in yellow, pink, and blue.
Oh, great for baby showers. That's awesome.
Great for baby showers.
I love the fact that babies can teeth on them. And you told me something.
You would think Bed Bath and Beyond and all Bye Bye Baby, Babies R Us. They would all carry. You would think, because there's no safer duck in the world, and it's made in America. Right.
And you told me something about ducks coming from China, how they get mold growing inside. So tell me a little bit about those bad ducks.
I don't know if people know, but a lot of ducks on the market, maybe 70% of them have holes in the bottom. What that means is water gets in. What that means is mold gets in, never comes out. Once it goes in, ain't coming out. All right, you have to toss the duck. So a lot of people go, well, if I want a PVC-free duck, I'll get a rubber duck, latex, all right, because that's not PVC anyway. But if you use regular latex, it will decompose. It will not hold up. The other thing, almost all the latex ducks have holes in the bottom. They're not really made for water, more for display. Water will get in those latex ducks, black mold. You're not giving it to a baby. And if a company does use a latex rubber duck and they seal up the bottom, the duck's color and everything will disintegrate over time. It's not the good duck.
So that's your branding. It's good duck. So that's separate from celebrity ducks and the costume ducks.
It's another division, because we have the good duck. Okay. We have the celebrity ducks, and then, we kind of have different ducks that, as you see, the costume Quackers, where the yellow duck's dressed up in those outfits like the Duckinator. And then we have ones like Allen Iverson, which are a duck that also look like I mean, we have all these little areas where we do stuff for. And plus, as I mentioned, all our custom work where people call us, they go, I don't want a duck. And you go in the custom duck section, you'll know what I mean. I want a polar bear sitting on an ice float, holding a drink, and we'll do it because our things actually float upright, or a lot of stuff came from overseas, they just lay on their side. Our things float. So we're kind of known for that. And that's why people come to us. I always joke, we're like, if you ever watch the movie Pulp Fiction, we're like Harvey Keitel, the cleaner. They start to go overseas themselves and make a product. They don't realize that what they're going to get in the end isn't going to match up to what they thought they were ordering, and they already have to pay for it in advance. And they come to us and they say, like with Conan O'Brien, they came to us with that Conan O'Brien duck you'll see in the custom duck section. They said, we're working on this Conan duck. He went from NBC to Turner Network. He needs 2,000 of them for the launch of his show. The people working on it, the duck looks, I mean, honestly, it looks more like Tom Cruise than Conan O'Brien. It's not working. Can you take it over? Can you salvage it? We had a month and a half to start from scratch. Usually it takes at least 3 to 4 months. 2 days before Conan launched his show, 2,000 were sitting on his doorstep. We made the deadline. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what people like about Celebrex. You can trust it, never missed a deadline, highest quality. We know what we're doing. We're in America, no less.
Right.
You can even talk to us on the phone. We answer the phones.
Well, that's a good thing. I like that.
Our phone number's on every page.
That's good. Let me ask you, for the entrepreneurs out there, how did you, we talked about how you got started, but how did you finance it? Was it that you had the other business, so you were able to finance it on your own? Did you have to seek financing? Just kind of help people understand how to do this. Like if they want to start they're starting their own business more likely, but people don't know what to do. We have a lot of encore entrepreneurs that use their retirement fund. So I just am curious, how did Celebrex do it?
Right. Well, if the Celebrex began, so I already had named that too, my animation business, which I started with a $500 loan from one friend and a $500 loan from another friend. Total of $1,000, paid them off within a year. That was my total investment to start my whole business, animation and ducks, $1,000. And what I did was, but you see, I'm a big, I think I mentioned this to Janice. I'm not what I call a brave person, or where I feel inspired. I have like no limits. I'm not afraid of anything, which is really funny to me, even, because like I say, I'm not someone I consider brave. But when I feel passion, I don't care. So I take risks, but I call them calculated risks. So for any entrepreneur, I say, if you do your homework, you really get enough of a feedback mechanism that you really have something, and you see what else is on the market, you'll know that you have something, and then you can start slow, just like we started with a few ducks. I started with Coca-Cola, one brand, and I let it build organically. I didn't start with the whole 100 ducks line of 10,000 different styles. I didn't start with 10,000 different SKUs and all these different companies I was working with. I started slow and scaled it once I had proof of concept. Just like this yellow duck, only this weekend did I know we did it. But before then, before I knew we did it, I had to spend thousands of dollars on molds. Did I spend it on 10 molds? No, I invested in one mold to get proof of concept and all the initial work, and had the companies I'm working with supply me materials to experiment with it. Now that we know it works, we can invest in more molds, we can expand, we can do everything. But I always say lean and mean. Big fan of Richard Branson, who actually works out of his home, entrepreneurs, take note, and Apple Computer started in a garage. Lean and mean. You can work out of your home, out of your garage. Only scale it up as you let the business force you to the next moment where you invest more. Do not just keep throwing money into it until you've really proven your concept and you start to get some traction.
And you work from your home, yes?
Yes. I think that's one of the things about older entrepreneurs. I'm not going. Yes, I think at this point in my life, I can, work at home. And I mean, it's a 3-story home. It's a nice home, but it's a home. I love working at home. And when we have film crews come in, they film here at the house and stuff. And then we have all the ducks here. And, I just think it's a really nice way to work, depending on your business model. But remember, I have factories all over the world. My art department's in Cincinnati. My warehouse is in Akron. My factories are in Michigan, New York, overseas. Everybody is somewhere else. Why not sit at home with a computer and a phone? You can outsource everything and do extraordinary things without having to take up office space in real estate.
No, I absolutely am a proponent of working at home. I do it here. That's
You're
what
an
I like to
example.
do. Yes, but so are you. So, but you have factories all over the world. That's pretty awesome. Or
But
every all
people
over your.
find it hard to believe that you could get something so big, a scale, and still be at home.
I know that's pretty awesome.
But you
Uh,
can. I could be on a beach in Waikiki with a cell phone doing this too.
wow. Well, that's what a lot of entrepreneurs want to do, don't we? We want to be able to sit on the beach and be able to still make money. That would be most entrepreneurs' dreams. So I'm posting your website again so people who are just joining can check out some of these ducks. Do you still have the Iverson duck there in front of you?
Yes, absolutely.
Let me show that again. This is what he does. We're talking ducks today. Hold it still because it gets kind of blurred when you move it too much. But yeah, we're talking ducks today. Now, this duck was your big break. Is that what it was?
No, it was Alan. I feel so indebted to Alan. Alan put us on the map. I mean, he could easily could have told the Sixers, "No, I don't want to do that promotion. You know, it's too unusual." Remember, when you're first in any niche, people don't know what you are.
Right.
Our niche didn't exist before I mean, rubber ducks people knew. A celebrity and a duck, people didn't know. So you're kind of trailblazing something completely new, and so you really have and it takes you a while to noodle how to do it. You get better and better and better at it. It's one place I said to my lady, I go, wow, these costume quackers, like the blue suede duck and all these things, I go, why didn't we think of this 10 years ago? And she said, you know what, that's not how it works. It's those 10 years that led you to this moment.
Oh, she's very wise. That's absolutely
oh
right.
Wiser than you would ever believe. Heart and soul of my life. Yes.
Oh, she keep her. She's a keeper. Keep her.
She's a keeper. And I don't make any moves in my business without her input on everything. And everybody should have someone like that. If you're going to be in business, you better have someone like that, or you're going to go off track.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And a lot of times for people, that's their family. So it's good to have that input and someone just to bounce things off of. So
we'll be brutally honest with you.
Yes, I agree.
You want it brutally honest is what you want.
Right. Let me ask you, so you have the website, but how do you advertise? How does the 76ers find out about you? Besides, I know you said one was a press release. How do these people know about you? How do people come to your website even? How do they manage? I didn't know about Celebrity Ducks. You contacted me for something else, and I was like, let me look into this and see what it is. And now I'm a fan. So, but how does
we do get a lot of press? I mean, we run on PR here.
Okay.
We did put our money into advertising for the most part. We put it into we do PR, and I do most of it myself. We don't use a PR agency. I do it. Okay. So we get PR requests. We just always are sending out press releases and information and letting people know about us. And the more you do it, it's like, the 100th monkey effect. At a certain point, something grows and grows and grows, and suddenly it's out there. More and more people start to find out about you the longer you're around. They share it. They tell people, your social media today. It's just one of these things where we're always working it, always getting our message out. And so, eventually it just keeps building. And yes, we haven't hit quantum mass yet. You didn't know about us. Most people, I guess, in the scheme of things don't. And yet we still sell millions of ducks. So at a certain point, we'll take on larger distribution and we'll get more known and do things like Toy Fair, which is a major place to, where you have a coming out. But, again, my model's always been to be lean and mean in the beginning. And if you build it, they will come. So I chose to put most of my money into the product and not just throw it out into advertising. I really wanted to have the best product on the market. And what I tell every entrepreneur, bulletproof your brand. Don't go out until you have it. You've taken it. So, in other words, I didn't do one costume quacker. I did 12 at once. Actually, there's 7 more. When you go to the costume quacker section, you'll see the sketches for 7 more. Captain Quack, Pirates of the Quackabean, One Pond, Rasta. I mean, wait, you'll look at these Goosebusters. We ain't afraid of no geese. I mean, you'll see all the new ones coming out. If you have to strike. So I didn't just do Coke. Once I proved the concept with the animation with Coke, you have to move fast and you lock it up. So anyone coming into it now is a me too. They're not going to have your quality. I never wanted to compete at the cheap end. I always knew somebody can make it less. There'll always be someone who can make it less than you. Quality is the hardest thing to knock off. So I went for the high end, and you have to create a line. And that way you really do bulletproof your brand and protect yourself. And you have something that's very, very hard to knock off. Quality is hard to knock off.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, along the way, did you ever have a mentor or an advisor to help you with this? Because you just went into the duck business.
No, no, I didn't. And honestly, if I had known what I was getting into, I mean, this sounds really funny. I mean, this is a real case of ignorance is really kind of bliss, because I didn't realize how hard it would be to make a rubber duck. I know, you say a rubber duck, how hard could, yeah, well, it's very hard. It's called rotational molding, and it has to, every duck comes out different. And you have to have wax mold and sculpts and molds and paint mask mold. And then they have to be engineered in your sculpting so they're going to float upright, and water can't get in, and the materials you use, and you're manufacturing in a country, in a galaxy far, far, far away where they don't speak, English very well. I mean, there are real reasons you don't want to get into that. I knew none of them. It's a rubber duck. How hard could it be? I'd done the animation thing, which was really, really hard. Why was it hard? When Disney was doing their animation cells for the art market to hang on your wall, they're hand painted.
Right.
That's how animation was done in the early days. How are they done today? Computer.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get it out of the computer, the Coke Bears, and get it on your wall on a piece of acetate like a Disney animation cell? I had no idea. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of been part of the reason for my quasi-success. I surround myself with really smart people, a lot smarter than me. I mean, like a lot. And that's how I'm able to make it work, because I have a crew of people who fill in for everything I don't know. And that's about the only thing I do know is what I don't know. And that's what's made it work. So I've had these really great people who figured out how to get it out of the computer. I work with the studios who are actually doing the animation of the Coke Bears. The ducks, my artist is my creative director, Chris Howe, is a genius. His father invented the Easy Bake Oven.
Oh, I love my Easy Bake Oven.
He invented he made Play-Doh safe for kids.
Yes.
The guy's a genius. He's the one who designs every one of our ducks. So you get the best people, the most talented, creative people. They can make you look good, but always give credit where credit is due. It is not here. I am just like a what do you call it, a puppeteer, or as Denise says, I'm like a sandwich maker at a delicatessen. I just assemble things, and she's right. That's my skill. If I have one skill, and if you want to be an entrepreneur doing it the way I do it, you have to be able to get along with people. You have to have good communication skills. So funny enough, you would think you would need a real strong business background. I have zero, never took a business course, can barely read a profit and loss statement, but I do know how to network with people and coordinate people. And that's a prime skill these days with computer and the internet and social media and PR. You have to be able to get along and have to be able to communicate intelligently with the people you work with and the people you're trying to market to.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, out of all of the ducks, which one is your favorite?
You're going to laugh, because we always laugh about this, but one of our favorites right now is Give Geese a Chance. All right, let me hold them steady.
Uh-huh.
You see Give Geese a Chance?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
There. The reason is because it was so hard, and we just thought it was so funny, and it came out so great. It's in the white box, and I don't know. For some reason, it just one really just tickled us that it could work. And some of these just take months to get the concept going. I love that one. All the food ducks came because of the things I like to eat. So, cupcakes and ice cream and chocolate. So we made ducks out of it, whatever we like. And I am, in the early days, you should know, my daughter designed them all. And, I was really proud of her. When she was growing up, I said, what do you want to do? She says, I love art. I go, then get into art. I will support you in any way I can. Any art course, any tools she needed. I said, Rebecca, the way I see it, 90% of the people are jobs they don't really like. So I don't know how much money you'll make doing art, but if you love it, every day you'll love doing what you do. And then she went on to design all our ducks in the early days. Then she worked for Pottery Barn and Sanrio. Now she has a couple of kids, and now she's getting more training in her art. So I'm really proud of her. And when I look at what she did, like I look at those Kiss ducks that she designed, which are really just unbelievable. The Gene Simmons stuff. We used to do the whole set, and they all sold out. Now we do Gene. And then, I look at the Blues Brothers that we've been selling the House of Blues for 10 years, and those are all her designs. I'm very, very proud of her.
Well, she did an awesome job. She did the Betty Boop too then, huh?
The Betty Boop, believe it or not, was done by a friend. That was the first one in proof of concept we did even before Rebecca got involved.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Betty was the first. That's the one she didn't do in the early days.
Well, they look fantastic. I think they're pretty cute. And like I said, my husband's trying to get one. So let me ask you, so you're very successful at this, yes?
Well, it seems to have worked. I mean, I'll be on a plane, someone goes, so what do you do? I mean, you can make a living at that?
Exactly.
Yes, if you become the top of if you're the only rubber duck manufacturer in America, you own your niche. No one's ever going to make them in America but us. I don't just mean the regular ducks. Now we have the regular ducks and the PVC in America. No one's going to make it. I got the only factory in New York, the only one in Michigan that can do that. Okay. And then you also, you're doing celebrities, you're doing licenses, and then we became, like I mentioned, the top custom duck manufacturer in the world. If you look at the custom duck section, you see the work and the intricacy we do. It's just unheard of. So yes, you can make money at it if you own your niche. You don't have to be all things to all people. Big mistake entrepreneurs do. They want to fit every niche. You will mean nothing to anyone. You try and become all things to all people, you become nothing to any particular group, and that's a good way to ruin your business. Own your niche. Be a big fish in a smaller pond. That little smaller pond can still translate to millions and millions of dollars.
Right. No, I totally agree. So we can call you the rubber duck mogul. So that's pretty good. That's going to be your new title. What's the one thing that you do every day that you think contributes to your success or contributes to that? Can you think of one thing?
I know it may not be the answer you want to hear, but
whatever it is.
I do pray every day.
I'm
a big believer, and there's more than meets the eye, and I never take anything. This is my own efforts. I feel I've just been really grateful the way things have worked out. For me, I really feel, there's been something that's really, protected me and blessed me with all my mistakes. And as an entrepreneur, Janice, you will make mistakes. You could say I'm going into it so carefully, not make mistakes. You will make 1 billion of them. It's not the mistakes you make, it's how you respond to them. And the fact over the years, and this is one thing about getting older, you get a little bit, hopefully, a little more mellow. You learn to roll with things. And you learn to treat people respectfully. And even if things don't work out, it never gives you the right to treat anyone disrespectfully ever, no matter what they do. Really, love, compassion. I know they don't teach it as a business trait, but love and compassion is really important in business. And you really have to go into business knowing this. Money will not make you happy. Business, no matter how successful, will not make you happy. You have to have a bigger point of view. And if you're looking at as your business as your sole way of being happy, it's not going to do that. Money never will. So, but the idea that this business is going to amass enough money, I can use it to do things for other people, that interests me. That I find excites me. That and the creative process. Put it all together. It's a good life.
That's great. A lot of entrepreneurs aspire to that as well. What's the next big thing for your company? What's Celebrity Ducks going to do next? Can we
oh God, Janice, if you could see the drawing board, this costume Quackers, I mean, I can't tell you how many other ones we're working on, feathers are a girl's or a duck's best friend. Need I tell you that duck, Duck Donna. I mean, there's just so many other things we can do with this costume quacker. It is endless. The list is endless that we are working on new designs. You could, like I said, you can see the 7 new sketches that are coming out in the next month or so, but it's endless how many we're working on. And let me tell you, this good duck here, okay, so you're seeing the good duck as a yellow duck, and I tell you we have green, you'll see the blue and the pink on the website. But you know, this translates into turtles, dolphins, frogs. It's endless. You can have a lot of good animals out of this material. And like I say, you know, because this material is so difficult to work with, I mean, it was just unbelievably difficult because it's the highest medical and food grade material in the world you could use for a baby. It's age graded. Usually they say 3 and up, 5 and up, 0 and up.
Okay.
So to use that and to be able to create something so safe for babies, you can imagine how we can expand this good duck line to just go quackers with it, just like the costume quackers.
And what's the largest amount of ducks you've sold at one time again?
Well, I guess we did tens of thousands for one chain once, you know, that because we did college mascots.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were unbelievable. It's like, I swear, they were so popular. Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, all these mascots. You can see them in the sold out section and some in the duck store on the website. Most of them all sold out. I just haven't had time to redo the licenses because I've been so busy with the costume quackers and the good duck. But at a certain point, we want to get back into the collegiate again because we sold. I mean, at one point, we sold 100,000 of those in 2 months.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Just the college mascots.
That's really impressive. Really, really impressive.
You know what's funny? My alma mater just did an interview with me last week for the magazine for the alma mater, and the ducks. And I said, yeah, we need to do a duck for our school, you know, that I went to. You know, the college is huge. Every college, the mascots translate beautifully.
That's good, and that's good business to sell your own school a duck.
It only took, what, 30, 40, however long.
No, that's great. That is fantastic. So let me ask you, what advice would you give those who are watching the show, because we're going to get a lot of replays, I'm sure, who may be thinking about starting their own business? And maybe someone came to them at a party with a crazy idea because they've been, you know, drinking a little much, like what happened to you. What's your advice to these people who could possibly start something really well?
Well, first of all, my first thing I'd say is know thyself. You need to understand not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just know who you are. Like my daughter, she doesn't thrive as well on her own. She can't manage her time that way. She's a great artist, but she's not someone who's going to run a business.
Right.
She can work great in a structured environment. So you have to know if you're a person who's better off working for someone or can handle the ups and downs, stresses in this entrepreneurship. So really know yourself. That is the first thing. And the second thing I'd say is, as I said earlier, is you really need a feedback, because people will give you lots of ideas, but you really need to run it by the people who will give you the most honest, brutal feedback, not the people who like you, you know, but the people who love you to the point where they want to protect you. And you really want to run it by them who will be brutally honest with you to make sure you have something. And then you really need to, again, refine your brand and to find out what the essence of it is that makes it unique. So you really have to do your research. Is there something else out there? What would make it unique? How could you bulletproof the brand? What would you have to do to make it so no one else could jump into your market? Like I realized I had to get all these licenses really quick. I had to make this whole costume quacker line really quick, because if we didn't have enough of a line, somebody could come in and start to try and do a cheaper version of it, which leads to my next point I said earlier. Don't try ever compete on price. Live by the penny, die by the penny. There will always, always be someone who can make it cheaper. So you really, really have to, you really have to really decide if you're going to, compete on quality and make it. See, once we start putting our ducks in these gorgeous gift boxes, you know what it costs to put every duck in its own gift box with a plastic insert? Who's going to do that? Me. Because they're beautiful and no one else is going to do it. They're not going to spend the money. So I pay an artist, Chris, the same person, to design these beautiful boxes. You know what? And it sets us apart because he's so talented. And you think making a duck look like a yellow duck and look like also someone famous is hard. It's really hard. Thus, you really want to have your pool of people who you're working with be at the top of their game. It's really worth it to have the top people working for you. Don't go cheap in your product look. That's really where you want to shine so that nobody can compete with you. Yeah. I think those are really key thing. And learn how to treat people right. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, I don't care what that person's done wrong. They're a human being. You never have the right to be dismissive toward anybody. And again, I say it again, I do think it's the heart of business is love and compassion, not profit and loss statements. I think that's critical. And that's how you can network and work with people all over the world, because you're not just like throwing them under the bus every time a mistake is made. They know, and this is a key to entrepreneurship, if you're running the right type of business, the person at the lowest, at the lowest, it's not even the word to say it, anyone at any level of your organization should be able to call you and say anything they want. That is, to me, how you run a business. So it's a total open atmosphere for people to give their feedback, and they will never feel threatened to do so. Then you'll really get honest feedback. I watch this show, Undercover Boss, but you really, you don't have to get that far before people start doing it. Right from the beginning, people should know these aren't employees; they're friends. They're so much friends, they should feel like they have ownership in the company because you're all that connected. That's how you run a business. It's like a family, not like a corporation.
I'm right there with you. I think that's fantastic advice to give. I really agree with that. But we don't have any questions, but before we go, can you just name some of the big companies that you've provided rubber ducks for, like some of the Fortune 500, some of the sports teams? Just kind of go over that one more time and tell us who you've provided these rubber ducks for. Because I still think it's amazing. Like the person on the plane said to you, you can make a living doing this, yet alone make millions of dollars doing this. So just tell me.
We get calls every day. Well, calls every day. I mean, and you want to tell an entrepreneur where to put your money, SEO your website, put in American rubber ducks made in America on Google. It's us. Put in PVC rubber ducks. It's us. Put in custom rubber ducks. Who comes out on page 1 of Google? We do. That I don't know how we do, because I don't understand the SEO thing very well. But it's one of the things we don't touch because somehow it works. Mm-hmm. So you want to really become so known in your niche for what you are that if they put you in a search engine, you're the one they're going to find. Right. Have that opportunity when we began the company.
Right. We had a typo there. I just noticed. Okay, so before we go, I want to just tell people who are there and who joined us and people.
You want to know the companies?
Yeah, I want to know the company. So if you can tell them.
Zappos, Zappos?
Yes, I know shoes. Yeah, they started with shoes.
Company. We just created that. We created a duck they gave away for people's birthdays for them. As you know, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Houston Rockets must have done almost 10 different promotions with us. Mm-hmm. We've done the Islanders. Oh my God, we've done. How many have we done? We've done. Harley Davidson had us create them for them at our factory in America, or biker duck. And then when they sold out, we just segued and we made the biker duck the pork chopper, which we make 100% in America. You can see in the American made section on our website. We make ducks for Graceland, our original Elvis ducks. We make ducks for we just did a duck for a shower door company. I mean, God, we do so many professional sports teams, Islanders. If I look at that list, we did the movie Semi-Pro for Walmart. They had Will Ferrell with a wash poof on his head, and you scrub it with Old Spice. They had us create that for them. You'll see on the site the Conan O'Brien one. You'll see that we did for the Turner Network. I mean, it's just endless. We get called. I'll get off the phone with you. I have 10 requests I'll respond to, people who are interested in custom work. You know why? We're not the cheapest giveaway. But here's the thing. A lot of companies, major brands, they buy the cheapest product to stick their name on so they can give out a lot of them. People take them home, give them to the dog, or they toss them. Mm-hmm. Ours are a little bit more money. We're the stickiest product in the industry. 10 years down the line, that celebrity duck's still sitting on the desk with your brand on it or in their home. That's what we offer. And that's why these Fortune 500 companies and teams come to us, because it actually, they're proud to have their brand on it, and it creates something that people will keep. ESPN did a poll survey of giveaways for bobbleheads and Matchbox cars and Beanie Babies, and we won as a fan's favorite giveaway. So, we're unique, we're different. Must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Well, I am winding up unless there's any questions, last minute questions. But be sure to follow Craig. He's on Blab now, and he's also on Twitter at Celebridux. And I'm going to put his Twitter handle up here. And before we go, Craig, is there anything else you want to say to our viewers?
Well, like I say, if any, viewers, I was always amazed as a way of doing business. And my last story I'll say is when one of the, I might have mentioned to you, one of the largest entertainment companies in the world, a lot of time had us do work for them. And we never been able to work out a license though, because we wanted to create even more. And at one point someone was leaving and I said, how come we can never work out a deal? He goes, I'll be honest with you, Craig. He goes, we realized a long time ago we do 90% of our business with 10% of our licensees. So why not get rid of all the small guys, just work with the big guys? I go, thank you for your honesty. It's fascinating. It's the exact opposite of how I run my company. My company, the smallest guy, the guy who sells them at a flea market, will get the same attention as SeaWorld. I make no distinction, or, it's just an equal view toward everyone. And to do so, to me, would be dismissive of the smaller guy. I will not live my life like that. Money will not talk to me like that. Everybody is considered equal. I'm happy for everyone who wants to talk to me. Every interview, no matter how big, how small, every store, every person, they're all, in my eyes, equal. It's not based on how much they can do for me. That's, to me, how you do business.
And that's a good way to do business. I think that's excellent. Well, again, thank you for coming on. Please also be sure to follow WeSpeak Worldwide. I'm going to post that up here too. I see we have some last minute people joining. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask before we go. Our next blab will be
Hey, you know what? Somebody wrote, I think you will want to change your title to Quackers.
I saw that. I called you Quakers. I think what happens, we edited it and it only
nothing wrong with the Quakers, right?
That's okay. We just, we sometimes things happen. I think it ran out of characters or something, and then it cut it off and made it weird. So we'll fix that before it goes out for the replay.
Thank you, Jan. Your questions are wonderful. Thank you so much for even being interested to even want to talk to us.
No, thank you. I just want to get the word out there about the next blab because that's next Tuesday at 4. You may even want to tune in, Craig. This is the founder of a company called Full Lips, and she's also an encore entrepreneur. Kylie Jenner, the Kardashian clan, started the Kylie Jenner challenge, and girls everywhere figured out that from her products, which Kylie allegedly was supposed to be using, you can suction your lips to make them fuller without getting lip injections. So girls everywhere started this craze, but they went overboard and they started using other products that's not safe and doing it for longer periods of time. They try to get a better effect, and their lips turned out like clown lips. So Linda's coming on to tell her side of the story, and she's going to show people the proper way to use these full lips. So if
go watch that show. That'll be more interesting than me, I tell you.
Next Tuesday at 4, she's going to talk about that. So I just want to say thank you again, Craig. We'll make sure we correct that, and then we'll have the replay available for you. It'll be also on YouTube, so I'll send you that link so that way you can share it as well. All right. You have a great week, and I'll see all of you on the Blabosphere soon. So, ciao.
Great. Thank you.